Good evening, beautiful ladies. Jody here from Healing Journey. And this evening, I'm going to be talking more about the link between toxins and anxiety. So, as you know, my big thing is really flipping the understanding of anxiety on its head and really asking the question, what is underneath my or your anxiety? Let's get to the root causes. And for many women, the root causes can be multiple different things or maybe one major thing. So what I like to do is to explore different potential root causes to your anxiety from both a mind and body perspective. So this evening I'm going to be talking a little bit more about toxins. So if this is something you haven't thought about before in relation to your anxiety, if this is a new idea, if you're wondering what toxins is she talking about here, then you're absolutely going to want to stay tuned. So this is something we do a bit of a deeper dive in my 12-week program, The Holistic Anxiety Fix, where basically in this program, we're working through the mind and body root causes to anxiety, and toxins can absolutely be one of them. So I know a lot of women, when they think about toxins, they think, I don't work in a factory and I don't live in a super polluted area, so toxins isn't really something I need to think about. And what I want to do this evening is I kind of want to crush that myth and to talk a lot more about how toxins can actually be something that is at the root of your anxiety without even you thinking about it. So one of the toxins I'm going to talk about this evening was actually at the root of my anxiety, and this is why toxins, actually two of them, are near and dear to my heart when it comes to really helping women get to the root causes of their anxiety. So the one form of toxins that I want to talk about are all of the beauty products that we put on ourselves daily. So if you walk through a day or even a morning of all of the products that you put on your skin, what I want to challenge you to do is to go and look at the ingredients in those products. And unless you've consciously switched to an all-natural brand, chances are there are a lot of ingredients that you have no idea what they are. And the biggest ingredient is that you want to be careful of is perfumes, because perfumes can actually, a fragrance can contain up to something like 1,300 different chemicals in them, and they don't have to disclose what those are because they're a proprietary blend. So basically you can end up having some toxic exposure from this and lots of other toxins in the beauty care products that you're putting on your body. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't detox very well, if your liver doesn't support you in detoxing and you're putting all of these chemicals on your body, this is absolutely going to cause anxiety because the toxins are going to start to build up in your system, and then your body isn't going to be able to process them in addition to all of the other stressors that you're dealing with. So this is kind of like another piece of straw on that hay that becomes the last straw, or the straw that broke the camel's back. So if you want to dive more into the beauty care toxins, then absolutely head on to Environmental Working Group. Now, another type of toxin that you might not have thought about that is actually the big one for me is mold toxins. So I was actually living in a moldy apartment several years ago, and I didn't realize. It didn't look moldy, it didn't smell moldy, but what was happening is the mold was running down in between the walls from the apartment above the water was, and it was causing a lot of mold, and then that mold was causing me to be sick. So I can't even begin to explain to you the number of women that come to me, and as we start digging or as we start doing testing, we start to see mold as one of the root causes of their anxiety. And mold can be a massive root cause. It can cause damage to the limbic system, which causes you to stress all the time. It can cause damage to the gut, because if your gut's a mess before or during you living in this moldy place, the mold's then going to start to colonize in the gut. So I've worked with women that have left the moldy environment environment, and the mycotoxins are still stuck in them. I've seen mycotoxins develop from breast implants. So that can be a trigger for anxiety. So as you can see, anxiety is not necessarily all in your head. The other thing that I've talked a lot about is copper toxicity. So copper toxicity can come from a couple of different things. It can come from parasites. It can also come from birth control or estrogen dominance. And copper, what it does is it stimulates your adrenal glands and it gets you super stressed. So if you're wondering if copper is something that you struggle with, I do lots of blog posts on it, but the absolute best place to go is something called coppertoxic.com. And if you look through the symptoms on coppertoxic.com and you're like, OMG, Jody, this is me, then you definitely want to circle back and approach me and talk about how we test for copper and how we detox copper. The copper testing is actually part of the holistic anxiety fix because it's a fairly simple test to do and it's fairly simple to supplement for once we understand the minerals and the patterns. But copper can be something your body can hold on to, and then you can just become chronically stressed. Another thing that I've seen for people is moving into new builds. So if you've moved into a brand new building that has a lot of off-gassing, that can cause toxins in the system as well. And so basically all of these things are going to build up in your system. They're going to deplete your minerals. They're going to really impact your body's ability to detox. And the symptom of this is anxiety. So this is causing the racing thoughts. This is causing the looping thoughts. This is causing the panic attacks. This is causing all of these things coming from a physiological perspective. So yes, the symptoms are very mind-based, but they're actually related to toxins that you're getting exposed to. So if this is something that you struggle with, absolutely give me a like or just write in the comment box a toxin that you think that I've talked about tonight, or maybe I haven't talked about tonight, that could be a part of your anxiety picture. So what I'm actually doing on Thursday of this week is I'm going to be doing a webinar where I'm going to be talking about the 3 secrets to getting rid of your anxiety without medication. And the approach I'm going to be taking is I'm going to be doing a much deeper dive outside of a 7-minute discussion here, where we're going to go much deeper into what some of the root causes of your anxiety can be. And for women who've attended this webinar in the past, it's absolutely reframed their understanding of anxiety and the journey they're going to be taking to heal their anxiety. So if this is something you'd like to be a part of, it's 7 p.m. this Wednesday. What you need to do is just write webinar in the comments box and I will be sending you the link and then I will see you there. Otherwise, post below any sort of toxins you think you might have gained exposure to that could be playing into your anxiety picture.